CDN structure we understood. Now how it is provided by the Amazon. So Amazon is providing the CDN kind of services with this CloudFront. So CloudFront is a CDN at the AWS. So it is speed up the distribution. Here we are calling as a edge location. So whatever we are calling as a surrogate server, now we are calling as a edge location. So they already have a very high network, means they have already have a network which is providing the services. Means we know that Amazon has already kind of what we say laid a heavy bandwidth lines. Okay, what does it mean? It means actually what I mean to say here. Let's say this is a original provider, and then we have some replicas to be made here, right? These are replicas in different part of the world. Now we have one user here. Now you may think that, okay, user is asking a request to this, and if the data is not available here, then data has to be fetched from the original and coming here and then provided to here. Is it visible? This is our original provider. Visible? This is our original provider. These are some surrogate servers which are placed at different regions of the world, right? So what we are saying, whenever we have to make a request, it will not go to original, it will go to the some surrogate server, right? This is the user. So if user make a request and that data which is requested is not available, then it has to be asked from the original, right? So it will ask from here. So it will take this time, and then also it will take this time. So it appears like it will take, means it will take the same time. So why not user simply ask from here? So the difference here is actually when this provider will take the services of CDN, then this company who is acting as a CDN, they have their backbone infrastructure, they have their heavy lines laid. So what is happening? Whenever data to be transferred, they are not simply transferred using the line that we are using. They are using their own laid lines which are of high bandwidth. So data is actually processed and delivered at a very high speed. Means the line which I have used by this user is the normal internet that we are using it. So it will take so much time, but they are having a very established backbone of these lines with a very high bandwidth in the CloudFront. So means not in the CloudFront, but whoever is dealing with the CDN services, they have their own backbone infrastructure and they have their own dedicated lines. So whenever the data to be delivered, they are not using this public line. They are using their own lines, which is dedicated for them only, because they have invested a lot for this. They are earning money out of that. Okay. So the delivery of data is very, very fast compared to the delivery that we access from that server. So whenever a request is made, it goes to the edge location. Edge location is a surrogate server. So if the data is residing there, it is immediately provided. If it is not there, it is taken from the original server. But this delivery from the original server to the edge location is very, very fast. So how we can access the CloudFront? We can access the CloudFront by using the management console, means the screen that we see when you log into the AWS account. From that, you can access this console. You can access this CloudFront. Otherwise, if you are a programmer, you can use the programming language that is supported by the AWS, and through the libraries, you can access this CloudFront. Otherwise, if you are using a language which is not supported by the AWS, then you can use some APIs. Then also you can access this CloudFront. Or you can use a command prompt, the console screen, and you can write the commands, and then you can access the CloudFront. So you can access CloudFront by all these 4 options. So if you want to realize, if you want to, so we have, you can do some practical onto the cloud, this AWS environment, and have a feel that how it works. So if you want to do a practical on it, so we need to first have one content provider. So here we will, let's say we will make one bucket. This is our origin. Origin means where our data will be residing. So first you create a bucket. The second is you will put some data to it. Let's say some images you have kept in this bucket. Okay. And then you will go to the CloudFront. So you can just search CloudFront onto the AWS screen, and then you can just take the services. So when I say take the services, means you are going to enroll with the CloudFront. So once you get registered with the CloudFront, you need to specify that this CloudFront is for what origin. Means this CloudFront is providing the data from which origin. So that means our origin is this. Means whenever we make a request for this origin, it should not go directly here, it go to here. So every CloudFront will associate to some origin. Does it make sense? And whenever you make a CloudFront, you will always get one URL, you will get one domain name, and this domain name is a replacement of this actual provider. So whenever any user want to access this origin, it is replaced with this URL. So all the requests will go to this CloudFront, and the CloudFront will then send it to the edge location. This is a surrogate server. This is how the entire thing will work. How you are going to experiment this idea onto the AWS? So first you have to create one origin. So here we will create origin by either you can create one website, or you can just take one bucket. Okay, bucket is our repository, is our container where we are keeping the data. So we will take one bucket, and then we will put some file here, some data here. And now we will just check that if anyone wants to access the data, then don't access directly from this, but it has to access through the edge locations. Then we have to, so we have done with this, then we create a CloudFront distribution. That means we are taking the services of CloudFront. So in this, you have to associate your origin. Always you have to associate your origin, right? So here also, this is our origin, this is the CloudFront, you can say. So every time, whenever we take this distribution, we have to associate the origin. So we take this service and associate the origin, means this CloudFront will work for which origin. And then also you have to specify some other things like, do you want for the log request or not, or you want the distribution to be activated immediately when you complete the configuration, or it will be only duplicated when the request is made. Now what does that mean? It means we have the options. Whenever we go to the CloudFront distribution, it says whenever a data is requested, then only you want to provide from the origin, means transfer from the origin to the edge location, or the moment you have configured, the entire thing will be transferred to the edge location. So this you have to provide this information. And then once you are completing this kind of all the settings here, you will get one domain name. Now this domain name is basically a replacement for all the requests that is made to this original server. Okay, so whenever any request is made to this, it will change with this domain name, and this domain name is nothing but your CDN. And then you can just provide this information to all the edge location, so that all the edge location can actually for every request for this server will be served by these edge locations. So how it is going to implement it? So the user will make a request to access the website or want to get the data from your origin. Then the DNS route will divert this route. Will divert from the original to the CloudFront, right? And then CloudFront will check that the requested data is available there or not in the cache. If it is available, it is provided. If it is not available, it will from the origin, okay, through the backbone which is already there. Yes, fast edge lines they have already there. So this is the scenario. So this is a user want to access something. So it will write here example.com, and it will go to the edge location. It is redirected to this edge location, and if the data is available, it is provided to the user. Otherwise, it will go to the origin and get the copy and then deliver. So how about the pricing? How you are going to pay if you use the service? So you need to understand all the parameters which are applicable for the payment. We will see in the next slide. Also, when you want to avail the service, you can use AWS budget, where you can set that this is my budget to use the service. So whenever you are going beyond your kind of expected budget, it will notify you. Normally what the companies are doing, they identify what are the peak periods. Means, for example, maybe on the Christmas time or Eid time, they are getting more customers around the globe. So during that time only, they will just take the CloudFront services, just to provide the services in a better way. Okay, and once the time period is over, they just revoke, you can say, they will just revoke from the services. So after every month, you will getting two reports. One is the billing report of these services and the detail that who are the users, what is the kind of time, everything will be given to you. Now you can also try the entire scenario in the AWS account. We are using a free tier account. In the free tier account, we are provided with 1 TB of data transfer out. So whatever the data which is transferred out, means requested by the customer, is only charged. Okay, so whatever the data you are keeping onto the origin, and from the origin to the replicas, all this transfer has no charge. But whenever it is requested by the customer, then only it has to be paid. And then all the requests, HTTP requests, this 10 million requests are free. So you are not going to make more than this when you kind of do practical. So it is all free, don't worry. And then if you are using some kind of Lambda function, then about this 2 million invocations are also free. So whenever any request is made from the edge location to the customer, then also you have to pay. Okay, and whenever any post request, put request is made by the customer from the edge location to the origin, then also you have to pay. Okay, and also whatever the origin you are using, for example, you are using any EC2 instance, you are using the S3 bucket, for that also you have to pay. So all these are the three components which are actually counted when the billing of the CloudFront is made. So this is one scenario. This is a static website and they want to use a CloudFront services. So how the billing is made. So it is shown here that 100 GB of data is actually out of the internet, and they have used these many requests, and they are using the AWS free tier. So 1 TB of data is given free, and these many HTTP requests can be made. So if they go beyond, and also if they are using any function like a Lambda function, if they have used, then they will be getting this much free, and beyond this they will be charged $0.01 per million request. So you can see here, if we go with the free tier account, then for this much data transfer out, there is no charge. Okay, this is actually 0 because it's already within the 1 TB limit. If these many requests are made, then also there is nothing. But if you are using a Lambda function, let's say you have made a Lambda function, and a Lambda function is making these many requests. This is how much 12 million requests have been made. So 2 millions are free. That means you have to pay for 10 million. So 10 million, and you have to pay at the rate of 0.01 per million. So you can just do the multiplication and solve. So this is 0.10. So monthly cost, if you go with the AWS free tier, it will be 0.10 you have to pay. If you use this much, then otherwise it's all free. Now, if you are using a dynamic e-commerce application, then this is the calculation. Now, this is just I have discussed here, so that when you are using it, you always worry that is it incur some charges or not. Like you were worrying that if I practice this on the account, then do I need to pay something? So you can just, that's why you can just go through this and you can just see the scenario. I want to demonstrate how to do the cloud. Find this link. Okay. Now this link will give you all the step-by-step procedure. So actually we have to go through these 6 steps to realize that how to avail the CloudFront services. The very first thing is you must have some origin, right? Yes. That contains some data. Then only we talk about that. We need to, okay, first origin should be there. So what we will do, we will create one bucket. Okay. So first thing is you have to prepare your content. So you can You can go to this screen. This is your account screen. You can search for S3 and create your S3. I'm not going to tell how to create. You will already practice this. And then you can create a bucket. Bucket name will always be small letters and a unique. And then you can select the region, any region you can select. Okay, this is all done. Then you have to upload the file in the bucket. You know how to upload the file. Okay, so files will be uploaded here. And then this is important. So once you upload the file, whatever you are keeping in the bucket is not accessible from anywhere. So by default, we have no permission to access these things. So you need to go here and you need to just allow. So when you go here, you can find here that it is allowed or not. So you can say grant public read access. Okay, you will find this option here. And you just, so actually this is tick mark. You just untick it. So it is accessible from everywhere. So now our origin is done. We have put some data there. Now we have to go for the CloudFront distribution. So how to find the CloudFront? I think you are aware about this kind of screen, is it? So you can just go here and you write CloudFront and you will get the CloudFront option there. So you just click on this option and then you can just click. So when you click on the CloudFront, you will get this screen and you will find this create distribution. Click on the create distribution. When we set our CloudFront, when we configure our CloudFront for the distribution, we will get this screen, and here you have to find the origin. Okay, so automatically, and we will get this kind of a pop-up kind of thing, and you will find your bucket visible here. Okay, so whatever the content you are having onto the cloud, all are visible here. So you have to select which origin you are doing this CloudFront. So you select your bucket here, and then just leave all settings as the default setting. Now what things actually required here to configure? One is called price class. So price class is basically means that you want the cloud. So we have three options are there. One is throughout the globe. Okay, one is for the kind of only for Southern European part, and the other is for the South Asia part. Okay, so you have to identify where is your customer base. If you are very sure that your customer base is only for the South Asia part, you select that edge location. If you believe that your customer is throughout the globe, all the requests are coming from everywhere, then you can select for this all edge location. Okay, so all edge location is selected by default, so you keep it as default. We have to pay a little more price compared to the other one. Then the second option is this WAF. It's a kind of web application firewall. So here you can specify if you want to kind of restrict some areas. For example, you say my customer should not be from some region. Let's say you don't want the customer from Syria or Afghanistan or somewhere. So when you go to this option, it will pop up the country's name and it will say restrict, which countries you want restrict. So you can set if the request is coming from this region, then don't kind of provide the services, something like this. Okay, so you can do the settings here. Domain name, whenever we configure our CloudFront, we will get one domain name. And what is the domain name? This is a replacement of the original provider. Then let's talk about logging. So do you want the logging services from the CloudFront? So logging services means whatever the requests are coming from, it will create a log file and provide it to you. Now it is actually required by most of the business peoples, but if you are going for the service, you have to pay. So you have to look for the budget and then decide that are you willing to take this or not. Then you can also bucket for logs. So you can also say that whatever the logs you have been created during this request, it should be stored in some bucket. Okay, then also you have to pay other charges. So this is just complete business is there. Then you can set some prefix. For example, you can say, let's say en or kp, whatever is the kind of business you are dealing with. If you want to assign some prefix with every log files, you can just write that. Say you are having an origin, and origin is providing for some kind of business, maybe some kind of toys. You can say toys, okay, and then every log files will be coming with toys hyphen and all the file name with the timings, so that whenever you have the collection of log files, you can easily segregate that this log file is for this particular server. Okay, this is for segregation. And once all setting is done, you can go for kind of distribution. You can just click OK, save, and once you click on save, your CloudFront is ready to use. It has been deployed, but for deployment it will take nearly 8 to 9 minutes. You can see the status here. Once it is said it is deployed, that means now CloudFront is active. That means if any of the request is made to the origin, it will go to the CloudFront. Now you want to demonstrate that really it is working or not. So what you can do, you can just make one notepad file, and you can just type this code, and in front in place of domain name, you can type the domain name which we have get here. As I told you, every time when you do the CloudFront, you get one domain name, right? So once it is done, you get one domain name. That domain name you have to copy here, and also the image which we want to access. So let's say you can just put any image onto the S3 bucket. So in this example, they have said, okay, you can take this image. They have shown you can take this image, but you have to keep in mind the image name should be given as CloudFront test image.png. Okay, otherwise you can keep any image. If you don't have any image with you, then you can take this image, and then you can write this name and paste it here. And now if you access, now this is a kind of web pages. This is a code for a web page. Now we can access this web page through any browser. So let's say we have made this web page, and now we are going to save this web page as mycloudfronttest.html. Now go to the browser and write mycloudfronttest.html, and you will find that your page is accessed. And this is how it is possible. This is possible through the CloudFront, because we have passed the domain name of CloudFront here, and still we are able to get our image, but this image is actually kept at the origin. So this is a very simple experiment where you can demonstrate that how CloudFront can be used in the real life.